Today we're going to be focusing on how to break every single bad habit known to man, whether that's scrolling, porn, eating junk food. We're going to be tackling it at the root. And what I mean by that is this is going to be different from the conventional self-improvement advice, which, here, let's look at the two layers. So the first layer is going to be focusing on trying to break all the habits at once. Now that really sucks because you're going to try to tackle all the problems at once. You're going to eventually diminish a whole bunch of different habits at once, but then when you stop using willpower or discipline in order to get rid of it, it comes right back. Now you might think, okay, well, let's go to level two. Let's focus on one at a time. Let's focus on getting rid of the cues and all the triggers, and that is going to give us what we need to do. But no, like I'm showing here, you get rid of one, there's going to be another that pops up, another that pops up, another that pops up. And the problem with these approaches is that we're not actually addressing the most important elephant in the room, and that is, what are your beliefs? And we actually need to redefine what you think a belief is, because a belief is not actually what you think it is. Now, let's start from breaking the bad habits. When you try to do either one of these approaches, whether that's tackling one of them at a time or tackling all of them at a time, they're all going to give you a sense of overwhelm. Now, when you get overwhelmed, what do? Right? The first thing that happens is that you're going to get really overwhelmed, and the first thing the brain wants to do is be paralyzed. You're not actually going to want to do anything because there's so many things that are happening at once that you just get confused and you get sad. Now, another problem that happens is that if this goes on for an extended period of time, all that leads to is helplessness or learned helplessness. And this is actually really bad because you're going to essentially learn that whatever you do doesn't really matter. You're just going to be overwhelmed and paralyzed, and as a result, how you interpret the world is going to change. This is a really, really good segue into the beliefs portion of it. So let's take whatever you're doing as an example, right? Whether that's scrolling, whatever you're missing, whatever you like, wherever it is that you're trying to change or get rid of. What beliefs really are is just a mirror into your soul, basically. It's a mirror that takes in all of this incoming information. When I say information, what I mean is all the actions or the cues or the external criticism or the internal criticism or whatever happens outside of that. This is going to filter directly through the mirror that is the beliefs and or interpretation of the world, and it's going to manifest as whatever you habitually do, or if you focus really hard, it would be whatever is a result of that focus dictated by all the habits that come from it. Because you can't really focus, because let's say this is all the things that you need to do in order to do this one activity, right? Because walking takes, like, you have to look at where you're going, you have to take a step, you have to do this one thing, and it's all habitual. So we can only focus on one thing at a time, or maybe two or three, maybe maximum three things at a time for the habit, while all the other things run on autopilot. So what you're focusing on is the thing that you can control. What happens after that is going to be whatever your habit determines for you. Now, just trying to patch a single thing at a time obviously is not going to be the thing that works as quickly or as effectively as possible. What we need to do in order to change the habits is not just change the cue, right, which is just the information here. We need to change the filter in which we look at everything. Now, we're going to do that by identifying the trigger. What I mean by that is that we have a bunch of habits that we do. The trigger for all the habits is going to be the thing that caused it, which is the cue, but we need to go even deeper than that, which is what is the thing that actually led to us having this sort of belief, or what is the thing that led to us, like, on a deeper level of leading to this specific trigger. The more we gather evidence or think about the trigger or what caused it, the more we have proof about what is actually going on. This is really important because this actually gets really complex here. That's why I have everything kind of written out already. So let's start from number one, right? We have the action and the cue. Maybe the action is the fact that we feel really uncomfortable when when we get to a certain thing. You're not going to get here at first, but let's say you're scrolling, right? We're going to use scrolling as the example along the way. The trigger for scrolling is maybe you're bored, but more importantly, what the actual trigger is going to be right down here. It's the fact that you're uncomfortable and you want to escape. Now, more importantly, we actually want to stop the cue, which is, well, what is the cue specifically? It's stress. We're stressed and we want to fix the stress. Well, what's the root of that stress? The root of that stress is that we want to, again, we want to escape the stress. And we feel uncomfortable about that because let's say we're mad at someone. Maybe someone said something that made us really angry, and as a result, we want to scroll. Well, why do we get so angry? Maybe because we're insecure. Why do we get insecure? Well, when we're insecure, when I was insecure, I feel insecure because when I was a kid, my parents used to not be proud and point things out all the time, which made me really insecure whenever that person said something to me, and I feel really uncomfortable. And as a result, I want to escape the discomfort, stop the fact that I'm feeling stressed, and as a result, I scroll. Right? And so that gives us such an important view of things because when we're actually looking at things from a holistic view, we're able to go back to the fundamentals of what exactly is going on. And now we have a very, very clear idea of what to fix. It's not the fact that we need to stop the environment of scrolling, because, yeah, we can add some ad blockers and get rid of that. But that's only going to be the stopgap because, well, let's say you get rid of scrolling. Next thing you know, well, what's another unhealthy habit? Maybe it's TV shows, maybe it's porn, maybe it's more bad habits. But then actually, if we point out the fact that we're uncomfortable, right, we can fix layer one of it. But if you focus on the fact that you have parental issues, you can focus on layer two of it, which is the fact that there's an infinite amount of things that you could try. But if you focus on the root issue of this, you're able to then break down the actions that are manifested as a result of your beliefs and what happened as a result of that, which you're going to be able to then change the core of the habits, which is going to allow you to get rid of the habit forever. Hope that helps. Drop a follow if you need more information or any feedback would be awesome.